Ladies and gentlemen, I have two major topics to discuss today. The first topic is, for the first time in about a year, we're seeing a Hashribbons bullish trigger, a very bullish macro indicator coming in there, which is great to see. We'll discuss the implications of that, what has happened historically in this video, and we'll also look into the short and medium term price action. Bitcoin has managed to bounce quite strongly from the zone that I said we were going to bounce from, and also the zone I said we'd go to at 68K. So our predictions on medium term, short term have been absolutely phenomenal in the last few days. So we'll look into the medium term price action as well, what we expect to happen next, where the upside confirmation is. All those topics will be discussed. And then we'll get into this YouTube community post, which I think is very, very important. You'll find the information in there very, very useful. In fact, we might start out with that. So before we start out with that, let's look into a couple of things. Just for 30 seconds here, I'll speak about the BingX and Bitunix exchanges. These are the sponsored exchanges for this YouTube channel. They have never been hacked before. They are both global, non-KYC. There's no restrictions from where you can sign up. And with my referral link down below, you will get a 15% trading fee discount on either exchange, right? Every single buy or sell you make will be discounted by 15% with my referral link down below. So go ahead and sign up with that link. Get on those good exchanges, get those discounts, and benefit yourself and also help out the channel by doing that. All right, let's start out with this community post right here. Here's something I want you guys to understand pay attention very closely here. It's very important you understand this, right? And you need to understand it not only for you as an analyst, but also for you as someone who's consuming YouTube content from crypto analysts. I'm going to read it out to you. Forget moving averages, forget volume, forget fractals. These are all important things for nuanced crypto analysis, but they will prove useless unless you understand two things: ranges and multi-time frame analysis. If you want any chance of making it in this market, you need to be capable of multi-time frame analysis. You need to learn how range-bound structures function. It is the main basis through which you can determine times to buy and sell. It is the very foundation of all conventional TA. On higher time frames, you need to be able to identify higher time frame ranges through which you can determine your higher time frame bias. On lower time frames, you need to be able to do the same thing through which you can determine your lower time frame bias. Hence, if I make a Bitcoin video where I say that I am macro bullish, and in the next video I discuss the need for a short-term bearish pullback, that is not a flip-flop or a contradiction. That is basic TA. It's very important to understand this, guys, right? People have been very confused. Not many people, but there have been a considerable amount. I think it's very important for everyone to hear it. Right, I'm macro bullish on Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin's in a bull market. I've always believed that. I have not stepped away from that theory since November 2022. Literally November 2022. Go back on my YouTube channel. That has always been my case. Macro bull market on a long-term scale, we're going up. I believe that. I still believe that. When I say that we need to see a pullback, we need to go downwards. Like for the last few days, as you can see on my YouTube video, I've been making videos ever since here. Don't ignore this. Market's moving very abnormally. When we were at 68K, I said we're going to see a pullback downwards, and I was flipping short-term and even medium-term bearish since the short-term and medium-term levels were bearish. That does not mean my whole bullish thesis since 2022 is out the window. That means I'm short-term and medium-term bearish, and I'm remaining macro bullish. You need to be able to separate time frame biases, okay? If someone says they're bullish, you need to ask, okay, on what time frame are you bullish? Because that means nothing. If you say you're bullish, that means nothing. Are you bullish short term, long term, medium term? They're all very different things, and they all have very different implications. You need to learn how to do multi-time frame analysis. So we'll look into this now. We'll get into the charts. Right, am I macro bullish? Yes, I am. And there's a bunch of reasons for that, but we've just got a new reason, actually. There have been, for the first time in about a year, for the first time since around July last year, so literally over a year now, we're seeing a bullish Hashribbons cross. This is excellent news. If we go back and see the prior times in history, we've seen these crosses, we can just go and mark them out, right? So we saw a bunch of bullish crosses here in 2012. It led to this swift move to the upside in bull market. We saw a bunch of crosses here. They didn't really work too well in 2014. We went sideways for a long period of time after seeing them, so I'm not going to go ahead and claim that was bullish. But we did see one occur around the halving in 2016, and that, of course, marked the bottom of the halving, which led to a swift move to the upside. Same story in 2018. Same story throughout 2019 and 2020. There were a few false triggers. Usually you can see when they're in quick succession. That means there's jumbling around and they're not very accurate. But throughout, particularly after COVID, after the COVID drop, which definitely ruined a few of them, every single one of them that has triggered since 2020 has been accurate, right? There's been 1, 2, 3, for 5 separate bullish triggers since 2020, and all of them, without fail, have led to significant macro moves to the upside. So us seeing this cross come in, this Hashribbons cross come in, it hasn't come in yet, of course, but if it does come in, and it should, that's undeniably a bullish indicator. Is it without fail? Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it's undeniably a bullish indicator, which again gives us even more reason on top of the already many reasons we are macro bullish to be macro bullish. So yes, I am macro bullish, and that indicator for the first time in a year is showing that there is plentiful reason to be so in this price region. So very good stuff coming through for Hashribbons. Now we can get into short term, medium term. Am I bearish on the medium term and short term? I was just 3 days ago. 3 days ago, as I said, I posted this YouTube video. We're in an ascending wedge formation. We need to move downwards to 63K. That's exactly what we did, right? We were in an ascending wedge formation. I'll draw it out for you right here. Ascending wedge formation. I'll draw out the top line as well. There it was. We broke the downside. We went downwards to 63K. Why did I say that 63K was an important level? 63K is an important level because, and this is a topic that we can get into a bit further, right? We have to understand first and foremost that Ethereum and Bitcoin, they're all connected. All these charts are connected. The levels are very similar on all the charts. Bitcoin had just gotten above its major mid-range resistance zone. It was just hovering above it while we were seeing major exhaustion, which was indicating to me that that breakout was a fake out, that that level wasn't going to hold, right? Because if we broke down from that level, we would have no room to see any significant correction through which we could form a base to bounce from. So I thought we were going to go downwards to the nearest support zone below the mid-range level. That's exactly what we did. We went downwards to the nearest support zone, 63.8K. We maintained, obviously as well, we maintained this kind of neckline of support that we've formed ever since the 21st of June. I believe that needed to hold, and that actually did hold, and we've seen as well the formation of a bullish pennant formation starting to occur, which is great to see because that's a bullish pattern adding to the bullishness here and adding to the fact that that bottom was a legitimate bottom. It was a valid bottom. In fact, it was quite an ideal bottom. If we zoom into the hourly chart, you can see a nice little rounding bottom formation there, which is a perfect thing you want to see. In fact, it couldn't get better than that. Let's just go back to the hourly chart and look again. Not only did we see a rounding bottom formation, but we also saw a rounding bottom with the final candle of that rounding bottom being a low deviation below the 63.8K level, which is exactly what you want to see. And that low deviation existed as a liquidity grab before the move to the upside, but also to validate the speculative structure that was forming with this yellow line. So we saw basically an ideal correction. Now, for that reason, I'm not going to sit here and say I want to see lower prices. I don't want to see lower prices. I don't think lower prices are the likely scenario here. I think that was most likely the bottom. However, that is not confirmed in the charts yet. So I can have that opinion, but it's not confirmed yet. So I wouldn't be necessarily buying here. I wouldn't necessarily be taking longs here. You don't do that at resistance. We're still at the mid-range resistance, you have to remember. You don't take longs at resistance, right? You wait for the actual validation of your theory. And right now that hasn't come yet. Now, when will it come? Well, it will come clearly when we break the yellow descending resistance on the price chart and on the RSI, and breaking that yellow descending resistance will be the same thing as breaking above the mid-range resistance zone as well. So just moving upwards a little bit more here on Bitcoin, above 67.5K, let's say, will break the bullish pennant formation, it will break the RSI resistance, and it will break above the mid-range level. So for me personally, I'm neutral on the medium-term and short-term charts right now. I'm neutral. I'm not bearish anymore. I was bearish a few days ago as per the predictions. We've seen a perfect bottom, an idealistic bottom. I'm now neutral and I'm waiting for a move out of this pattern formation. What we want to be seeing, again, is a break above this bullish pennant for 3 reasons. It would be breaking a pennant to the upside, it would be breaking the mid-range level to the upside, and it would be breaking the RSI level to the upside, all of which should give Bitcoin enough steam to move upwards and start testing the all-time high resistance zone. That's literally what I think. Not quite the all-time high, because the all-time high is actually a bit higher, but definitely the upper resistance zone of this range, which is about 72K to 71K. So if Bitcoin can get above 67.5 for an actual, actually get above it, not just wick above it, but actually flip that level properly, I see no reason why Bitcoin won't go and test the top of this range and potentially break out the all-time highs. I see no reason at all. That bottom that we saw at 63.5 to 63.8, it was perfect as predicted, and it was actually an ideal structure. Not only did we do everything I just spoke about, but we also managed to bottom out on the 200-day moving average, which is just great. It just adds kind of a cherry on top there. But again, not necessarily out of the woods on short-term, medium-term, and you can see that on Ethereum. Ethereum's very clear of that, right? Ethereum is now backtesting its bull market support band. It's now backtesting its mid-range level as well. And so it just shows you quite clearly that we're not out of the woods. Like we need to go a bit higher. We're not, clear right here, which means buying right here is, in my opinion, quite stupid. Like just wait a little bit more. That's my opinion on that. So medium term, looking good, much better than it did yesterday. The bottom range that we identified has seemingly played out quite well, but we're just waiting for that little more push to the upside before we can jump back on a medium term and short term bullish bandwagon. I don't think we're quite there yet. Right now, I'm long term bullish and medium term, short term neutral. That is my positioning on the market right now. Now, in tomorrow's video, I'm going to discuss something very interesting that's happened with altcoins, right? There's a reason why on this YouTube channel I have said that altcoins are not something you want to be rushing to buy right now. A lot of people in the crypto sphere have been saying, oh, you need to buy altcoins, you need to buy altcoins. I haven't rushed to buy altcoins. I've made it very clear that we don't need to be rushing to buy altcoins. Altcoins are still under pressure. They are. They're not above the levels they need to be at yet. They're still below bull market support band, still below critical resistance, and Bitcoin dominance has just broken to the upside, right? It's broken to the upside from a level that lasts from December 2020. It just goes to show, right? You don't need to rush when it comes to making macro decisions. You can take your time, you can think it through, you can wait for the confirmations. You're not going to regret waiting for confirmation, in 3 months when you might be holding altcoins down 70%. Right? I'm not saying that's going to happen in 3 months. I'm just giving you a hypothetical, right? It's always better to sacrifice some reward to minimize your risk drastically. You need to wait for confirmations in financial markets. And this is a great explanation, a great kind of example of that. People got greedy. They didn't wait for confirmations. They rushed into altcoins too early over the last couple of weeks. And now, they're in a situation where Bitcoin dominance is still rising and they're holding all altcoins. Like right now, actually, the optimal positioning would be in Bitcoin. And that's what we are. Mostly in Bitcoin and this YouTube channel. Rest assured that when the altcoin market becomes favorable again, I will definitely switch massive portions of my Bitcoin into altcoins and deploy more capital into altcoins. It just has not happened yet. And it might happen within a week. All right. I think the next macro move for this market will be an altcoin season. I do think that. On a macro scale, I think altcoin season will happen next. But we need to break all-time highs first. Right? We're still in a mid-range level. So just be patient with it. And we'll discuss that extensively tomorrow. So look forward to that one, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Guys, check out the exchanges once again. Both are global non-KYC. Both are very low in trading fees. Both have never been hacked before. And with my links down below, you'll get even lower trading fees, 15% discount. So check them out. We've also got the VIP group on Telegram. We trade altcoins 4 times a week on VIP. I give you buying, stop losses, take profits, everything you need in video format. You're also getting access to a group chat with that VIP membership. And on top of that, if you want to validate our results, if you want to be confident before you make a purchase, you can check out our PDF document, which shows every single trade we have made in VIP, every single win, every single loss. It's all transparent. It's all there for you to check out. And finally, guys, just to end off the video, the Crypto Academy's Become a Trader 10-unit course is currently on sale. So if you want to learn how to trade, you can do so with this course. Read up about it on the website. We cover everything: practical learning, visual learning, verbal learning, charts, words, videos, everything you can use to learn effectively is there. Check it out, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you tomorrow. Cheers.